I'm not subscribed because I'm busy getting ready to kick some ass. What's your excuse? Make sure you tune in to Speak Easy Podcast. Get all the great facts, guys. Get a good listen to it. Once again, Speak Easy Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't have to worry about going there. It'll just pop up with a notification. Take it easy. You guys be blessed and be safe.
What's up, guys? You're watching the Speakeasy Podcast. Your boy D. I'm here with Dewey Cooper, the original, the OG DC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black Cobra, we're here. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming on. Now, we originally decided to interview on Tuesday, talk a little bit about yourself and whatnot, but we had some drama go down today on out in the Twitter streets, Twitter beefs.
Yes.
I guess what do you think of what's going on between Jon Jones and Francis? I know Jon came out and tried to compare the skill level between Thiago Santos and Francis. I guess about who he thinks more faster and technical. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, man, I'm an OG, man. I've been doing this shit since 1985. So as far as internet beefs and all of that, I don't get into it. I'm a real dude. I do real things. Um, so whatever goes on Twitter, man, I can care less. I'm a coach. I'm a fighter, and that's all I care about. Once the contracts are signed, things are official, then we'll prepare for whomever the opponent is. As far as Jon Jones, he's a legendary UFC fighter. Uh, Besides Anderson Silva, I say he's the greatest UFC fighter, in my opinion. So if a fight materializes, then it is what it is. We'll prepare diligently, intelligently, and aim for victory like we do any other opponent. Doesn't matter whom it is, where it is, just make it official and we'll get to work.
Now, as far as I guess preparing striking wise, it's just so crazy with Francis, man, because he's just got that power. Anything happens. When I guess in the Rosenstrike fight, he kind of came out with those hooks, kind of like swing a wild there. Do you guys like practice that stuff, or is he kind of just test the guy out? Once they get going in the beginning of fights.
I mean, the fight happened the way it happened. Rosenstruck came out throwing inside leg kicks, and Francis did what you're supposed to do, and it ended quickly. Um, of course, I don't think anyone trains for that. You just train, and quick knockouts happen sometimes, especially when you have the attributes and the athletic ability and the God-given power of an enigma like Francis Ngannou. So, of course, we didn't train for him to come out there letting them rip like that. We trained for him to be sharp, to land his strikes, and to attack because we knew Rosenstruck, he goes straight backwards sometimes. He gets his chin up in the air when he's moving backwards, and he did exactly that, and the fight ended exactly like it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's some excellent coaching on your part because that is exactly what happened, word for word. I guess on preparing for Jon Jones striking wise, what challenges do you see? I guess the way you studied Rosenstrike. I'm sorry, but the way you studied him. What kind of stuff do you see? I guess versus Jon Jones that you would like to take advantage of, or that you think Francis could capitalize on.
I mean, Jon Jones is an incredible fighter. He has so many different tools in his toolbox. He's a champion. He's proven. He's done this for over a decade, kicking ass and taking names. He's awesome. He's beat probably the best UFC heavyweight in the history of the UFC twice, which is DC, Cormier.
Yeah.
Jon Jones, he's awesome. He does a lot of things. That side kick to the knee is something you definitely have to contest with. His striking is awkward but effective. But remember, he has good old-fashioned American wrestling to rely on also. He has great spinning elbows. He's tough. He's the heart and the mind state of a real champion means he'll dig deep if needed be. He has all the elements. So it's kind of a nightmare preparing for a talented, well-rounded individual like Jon Jones. Uh, However, everyone's beatable. And when you have certain attributes that Francis Ngannou has, they become even more beatable. And that's all I can say about the fight, man. We'll see if it happens. and Francis and his manager agrees to sign the contract, then we could talk about what we're gonna do. But until then, man, whomever, whenever.
Yeah, I feel like they need to. I mean, obviously I don't know personally what's going on, but he seems perfectly healthy. He only had a 20-second fight, which he was the winner of, and
Yes,
that guy
yes.
deserves the belt. He's on a streak.
Remember, man, a lot of things get said on the internet, but man, in the real world, it's about what's really happening. And until something really happens, we could talk about aliens, we could talk about COVID virus, we could talk about governmental trickery and corruption. We could talk about a lot of shit. Um, if the fight happens, I can assure you one thing, Mr. Ngannou will be prepared. He will be ready to defeat whomever they put in front of him. And that's all. I know Francis wants the title. So if there's some kind of championship implications or whatever, him and Markel, his manager, decides to do, myself and his other trainer, Eric Nixick from Extreme Coutures, will be ready to get him ready for it, man. All we need to know is the officials, the official situation. And that's why we make a good team. One thing people don't understand about us, man, we all stay in our lanes. In order for a fight to happen, so many components and so many layers have to come together. I don't get involved in those layers. I can care less because real fighters are willing to fight anyone, anytime. You don't choose and pick and cherry pick and all that shit. You choose. If a fight happens and it's advantageous for you and the manager and the fighter agrees with it, we're okay with it, because at some point in this sport, you have to fight everyone anyway. So in saying that, if the business is right, Francis wants to fight, Markel and him agrees to it, he will be prepared to defeat whomever he faces next, regardless if it's Jon Jones or anyone else. We're going to train him hard, and our goal is to win every time we enter the octagon.
Hell yeah, I think he's more than deserving of a title. No disrespect to Stipe, but I mean they should have put an interim title on the line in the last fight. There's so many situations where Dana put an interim title up. Where, the situation with Tyron Woodley, he put an interim title,
Yes.
and Tyron fought like 3 months later. We don't know when Stipe is coming back. It doesn't even sound like he wants to come back. So it's like,
Yes.
I don't know why they don't. I don't know, and I have a feeling, and it's personal. I'm obviously not in the business like you. Francis is a scary guy, man. I feel like whoever, even if they have the Stipe DC fight, whoever wins it might end up retiring anyway. So why?
Well, we hope not. But again, we're just gonna be happy. We're gonna be humble. We're gonna remain diligent and keep training hard. And whoever it is, man, we gotta win. This is a sport. This is a professional pugilistic sport, to where a loss can knock you 10 steps back. A win catapults you to where you want to be. Francis has had so many consecutive wins right now, all by knockout. So it's definitely championship or bust. He wants it. He deserves it. He has a great story. How many people had to pay for school in elementary, work, dig dirt to make money to pay for their pencils and their notebooks as a little kid? How many people left their country by themselves, not knowing anything, went across the whole continent of Africa to get to Paris, then to somehow get to America and get to follow their dreams and accomplish everything except for that last one, winning that UFC world title. Not many people were able to persevere throughout all the stuff that he's been through. So he definitely deserves this championship. And I'm real confident at some point he will have the UFC strap thrown around his waist.
As am I. And like you said, all that stuff he went through to be where he's at, and then there's nobody else above him. I feel like he deserves it 100%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's just about the business. It's about what's happening with Stipe DC, and then what's happening with the demand from the public about Bones Jones and Francis Ngannou. Let's see what happens. Again, man, I see no faces. I just see challenges. Whomever we fight or whomever we face next will be a great challenge, because this is the highest level of the sport. So whether you turn right or left, it's going to be a hard fight, a challenging fight in which we have to be prepared for. And that's the position we're all in. That's the mind state we're going to stay in. whomever it is, it's going to be a serious challenge for us, and one that we plan on conquering.
Yeah, as a fan of both the sport and obviously Francis, I feel like hopefully the fans get behind this one between Jon Jones and Francis, because that's enough hype to make it happen. Especially if DC and Stipe is kind of a little bit on hold.
Yes, for sure, for sure. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I can see, like you said, John seems like he wants it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, we see what happened to the last guy I wanted it. Just saying. Sidebar.
Yes, yes. He talked about it'll be a great fight and big money business for him. Hey, great. We'll see how it goes. I don't even care about the money portion because we get our share as coaches. All I care about if the fighter really wants that moment, he wants to face this person. Because when the fighter really wants it, he's gonna put himself in depths in the harm of dying to win the fight, and that's all I care about. Sometimes people let the business cloud their mind too much, and they take fights that they didn't want or wasn't feeling simply for the money, and they get in there and don't really push themselves to the brink of death if needed be. So that's why I can care less about that. That's what a manager is for, to make sure the fighter gets optimum amounts of purses for their fights. And real coaches, we just want our fighters to win. We're going to train them hard, train them smart, and we want our hands raised in that fucking fight photo in the middle of the cage after it's over. That's what I do this shit for.
Hell yeah. And you train a lot of guys that's in the UFC. Is there a difference of grit when it comes to training with a guy like Francis who comes from the immigrant background and stuff like that versus a guy who's hey, I want to be a fighter, just comes to you out from America or from suburbs and stuff like that?
Um, most fighters have a strong spirit, but of course, normally the rougher the circumstance the fighter has came from, the tougher and the more will they have inside. Intestinal fortitude, you know what I mean? Because you've seen the worst. You're trying to get out of that. So you have a real purpose to push yourself. Some guys who don't have that could rely on mama and daddy's trust fund. And when the shit gets hard, they can be like, you know what, man, I'm not willing to die for this. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter if you came from the struggle or born with a silver spoon in your mouth. It's about the soul you have inside you. It's about the heart that pumps the blood through your veins, and if you're a real born spiritual warrior or not. And if you got those elements, balls, heart, and a strong mind, the struggle don't really matter because you're willing to fight for it to the end anyway. And we seen that in Justin Gaethje the other night. You know what I mean? I'm sure he didn't grow up poor or too poor and assed out and all of that. He has great parents and all of that, but that's a real warrior. He got the balls, the heart, the strong mind, and you seeing what that can do. It could do incredible things. So those are the elements I look for. Francis, for his size, his athletic ability, and for the things he can do, his attributes. There's few guys that I've ever trained that has all of those elements. He has power in everything he does, natural power, by the way. He's super athletic. People have only seen about, I'd say, 30% of his athletic ability. He can do some amazing things, guys. He's just not some guy who just can swing for the fences, man. You'll be surprised. And one day he's going to put it all together, and we're going to be sitting there saying, man, we already knew this. He's great, man. I call him an enigma because he's so big, so strong, and so athletic. He should be on the NFL football team right now. But, UFC is definitely a good option.
Yeah. How did you come across Francis? How did you guys come together?
It's pretty crazy, man. I would have, Francis came from France to U.S. to Las Vegas, and the first time I met him, he ran up in Mayweather's gym and said hi to me, and it was cool. But I gotta say, Forrest Griffin is probably the guy who bridged that gap. He was looking for a striking coach. He didn't know anyone out here. From my understanding, it was Forrest Griffin that said, hey, I got a guy, Dewey Cooper, blah, blah, blah. He gave him the recommendation. And we met, and we've been rocking out ever since. I never really talked to him about who officially did it, but I'm sure as far as Griffin, because Forrest called me and said, hey, talk to this big guy, Francis Ngannou, who's in the UFC, blah, blah, blah. And then I met Francis after that. You know, we've been rocking out ever since.
Man, for a coach like you of that caliber to have a guy like that walk into your gym that you just get the mold, that's probably exciting for you.
Yes, yes. And remember, you know, Francis has had some great coaches. Coach Lopez, Fernand and France, his original coach. Coach Lopez is an awesome guy. I respect the hell out of him. You know, straight brother from France. You know, we all the same, man. It's African. You know, Francis just happened to be from the motherland. Lopez happened to be from France, and I happen to be from America. But at the end of the day, we are black men. We're Africans. So his original coach was awesome. I'm blessed that I met him. I'm blessed that he likes what Black Cobra striking systems offer, and also Eric Nixick from Extreme Couture's, Randy Couture's gym here in Vegas. Man, Eric's an awesome coach. Francis really learns and enjoys from Eric also. So it ain't just me, man. This mixed martial arts thing takes a lot of components to come together to see these great results. I'm just happy to be one of those components. You got his manager, Markel Martin is another component. Eric Nixick is another component. And the big, most important component is the fighter Francis Ngannou, the Predator.
Yeah.
We're happy about it, and we're proud to have him with us.
He has a badass nickname. I know when he came in, he had the dreads and everything, so the nickname was perfect.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I've knocked out 2 or 3 dudes in my life for calling me that shit. And it's funny, I get a guy who wants to be called that.
Yes, we
and shit, you know,
yeah.
dudes be saying shit. Back when I was younger and fighting, man, I swear to God, I've knocked out at least 2 to 3 dudes for saying that to me, but in an insulting way. So I had to show them what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's I think about it in my mind. I've never even told Francis, but I think about that in my mind. You know, and now I have a guy called the Predator. It's crazy.
That is funny.
God's a practical for real.
You've been in the game since '85, and I know you're talking about, you know, with the fighter, it's all about what's in here. What helped you find MMA?
Well, remember, I started kickboxing. I was a long-time kickboxer. I did boxing also. I fought MMA at the end of my career because everyone was saying I was afraid to jump in the cage. So yeah, I did that. But I'm a kickboxer / boxer. You know, born that way. I've kickboxed since I was a little kid, and then I got into boxing in my early 20s and all of that. So I'm a pure striker. I respect the ground. I definitely love American wrestling, but that's not really my forte. I'm a striker. But mixed martial arts, I love it because it's a sport that encompasses everything. You have to be diligent. You have to be studious in every aspect. Whether you're really great at it or not, you have to have awareness. And it's so many ways to win and so many ways to lose. That's what makes MMA so exciting. Add on the rock star crowd, the way the shows are presented to, you know, to the fans. It makes it like one of the best sports in the world. You got the cool music playing. You got the awesome announcers. You got Bruce doing his Barnum and Bailey circus, you know, introductions. Yeah. I mean, it's just the most awesome thing in the world. And like I said, I'm proud to be a part of it, man. And we're going to keep training these people and keep doing our best to make them better. And we'll see where all this shit goes at the end of the day. But right now we're doing pretty good. And Francis is happy. And whatever's next for him, don't blink, guys, because it could go quick.
Goes really quick. How was that experience actually for you in Jacksonville? Did you have to take the test too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We all got COVIDed. Yeah, we're all negative. If you know, I didn't appreciate getting the stick stuck up my
Like,
nose.
my nose now, man. Thinking about it, man.
You know, it wasn't very comfortable, but it was necessary. Remember, I was at the first UFC fight that didn't have the crowd. That fight in Brazil with Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira. So
Right.
I was used to the no crowd and weirdness of the way they ran the event. You know, get you there with not much time left. You know, the entire event is different now with this COVID-19 stuff going on, but it works out, and you know, it's cool, man. It's cool.
As a coach, do you like that better? That silence of the crowds where you can talk to your fighters?
Um,
Is it better for them to hear you, or
well, I don't think in any professional event it should be crowdless because the fighters deserve to have that acclaim and that fanfare. Um, because most pros have, besides Francis, most pros have been doing this since they were kids, all the way up their whole lives. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Francis, like 7 years in, he's just that awesome to accomplish the things he's accomplished in such a short amount of time. But most people have done this their entire lives. They went through the amateur systems and all of that. So pros deserve a crowd, and so me as a coach, it doesn't matter to me psychologically or whatever. We're locked in, we're focused, but the event of these magnitudes deserve a sold out crowd, keeping that energy there, just making these events monumental. So I feel like without the crowd, you're losing that element of it. Um, the the fighters, when you walk into a ring or a cage or whatever, because I've been in both of them, people don't understand. It's something that you feel in your spirit, man, in your soul. It's just this unexplainable numbness that you get that we just can't get in regular life. You might be at a bar and get mad and punch someone in the face or something, but you're not gonna get that same endorphin rush that you get when you step in that ring and see some dude who's been preparing for you for months, you know, willing
yeah,
to step in there and go mano a mano against you. So with the crowd being there, it just makes it more of an extravaganza, more of a festive event that you deserve to be a part of because you put all this hard work and dedication in. So I like the crowd much better to answer your question, you know, briefly. I like it much better.
yeah. Now, because we original plans to talk about you a little bit on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I'm not tripping, man.
Yeah,
I'm old, I'm retired. I've done a lot of shit. I won world titles. I got inducted in the Masters of Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2008. I've trained 11 world champions. People don't understand that I'm not some new dude in
yeah,
boxing. I fighted Jessica Rakoczy, who was on the Ultimate Fighter with Misha and Rousey. She was the Canadian boxer. That was my fighter. She was a straight boxer, no MMA experience, and got to the finals of the Ultimate Fighter series and fought against the Vixen, Venezuelan Vixen. You know, this girl had no MMA experience, but we won 6 world titles together in boxing, 3 different weight classes. You know what I mean? Jesse Vargas, we won the WBO welterweight world title together. Me as his head coach. Beibut Shumanov, WBA light heavyweight boxing world champion. We won the WBA world title together. I've had Rashan Hudanazaro won the WBA Fed Latin Championship. Sanya Zarowski won the WBA belt. Garat Amadov won the WBA belts. My kickboxer Amir Dalla, undefeated, won the WKA Cruiserweight Kickboxing World title. My bare knuckle boxer Christine Misfit Freer won a bare knuckle boxing title. Man, I won so many championships as a coach that people don't understand. I won championships in MMA on the amateur level with several of my amateurs, like Keith Lee, who's now Killer Keith Lee, now in
I'm waiting for
Bellator.
him to come up, man, because I'm from Detroit, so I root for those guys,
Yeah,
hard.
you know, I got so many fighters that I won championships with, and there's one more left that coveted UFC championship title. I cannot wait till we accomplish that goal, and then I'll be one guy who's won a championship in every fighting sport, every one. That UFC championship is the only one that's been avoiding us. We've come close. We
Yeah.
come close, but it's gonna happen real soon. And and you know, these are the reasons why I stay passionate and work so hard with the fighters and do my best to really help them any way I can, because I'm all about just winning, man. We want to win every chance we get. If we don't, we accept it and we try to learn from it and get better, man. At the end of the day, though, we're gonna win way more than we lose. That's for goddamn sure.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling that one coveted one's coming soon too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep you all day. I don't know what you got going on. I know you're holding up the phone, but I did want to ask, I guess, one more thing for someone who's been in the striking game for as long as you have, with the mixed martial arts. I know obviously people have evolved as a mixed martial artist as far as jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and piecing it all together. As far as the striking goes, has there been an evolution in that at all from your experience?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, man. You got some really good strikers in several different of the mixed martial arts companies. It has definitely evolved, man. You know, you got guys like the Style Bender, for instance, real kickboxer that moved over to mixed martial arts and already won a championship. You got guys like Raymond Daniels, MVP. You know, you got some guys who are straight karate guys, you know, and kicking ass in the cage. If you compare the striking to, let's say, 2003 to now, you can definitely see the evolution of the striking, man. There's some really good guys out there. Um, uh, the Conor McGregor Mayweather thing was not a representation of that, because Conor's a good boxer, but Floyd's one of the best to ever do it. You can't mix just a good boxer against a legendary boxer. That's never gonna compare. But definitely the striking in MMA is world class. You got great kickers, you got great punchers, you got guys who can put it together, hands and feet really well, man. It's definitely evolved, and it's gonna keep evolving, because now you got kids who are doing wrestling schools, you know, taking wrestling class 6, 7 years old, and then they're going to a kickboxing class or they're going to the boxing gym. So imagine 5 years from now, it's going to be even better than it is now. And I got some young killers coming up, by the way. I got some young guys 2 years from now. I got some guys that are coming up, and I'm real excited about them too.
How is Keith doing? Keith Lee, is he coming along?
Yeah, man. Keith Lee is coming along. He has a kid coming, and he's just upset about this quarantine because he can't fight again.
Yeah.
But he's in the gym training, working out. He's looking real good, and he can't wait to get in there for Bellator again, and we can't wait for him, man. Sean Bunch, his first opponent in Bellator was a very experienced guy from the AKA gym. He was a favorite against Killer Keith Lee. They thought Keith was gonna come there and be someone's sacrificial lamb, and Keith Lee put them skills on him, shook him up a little bit, and Keith Lee's gonna shake the world up, man. Yo, he ain't just Kevin Lee's little brother. He's his own man. He's a real mixed martial artist. He's gonna do big things in the future. He's one of the young guys that we got on the rampage, and I guarantee he's gonna turn a lot of heads and get to that Bellator championship in the next, I say, 2.5 years.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. I guess one more from me as question for you. When you did jump into the octagon after everyone was kind of talking that trash, how'd you do bringing the kickboxing into the MMA for yourself?
I did well. My MMA record was 3-1. I lost my last MMA fight. Guy just kept taking me down. Wrestler couldn't get up. Lost in the scorecards. No big deal. After that, I tore my ACL training for a K1 fight. And I had 4 knee surgeries. At that time, I'm like, man, I was making more money in K1 and in my boxing career, so I just stayed course to that, because mixed martial arts wasn't something that I really had a passion for like that. I love to fight. I'll fight any style right now. I actually grapple with one of my grapplers today. Um, but but I'm a kickboxer / boxer more so. And so I stopped doing that and finished out my career kickboxing. I fought Peter Orts, one of the greatest kickboxers from Holland, never do it in Dubai, and stuff like that. But MMA was cool. I enjoyed it. The grappling part was definitely hard for me, and the wrestling part was really hard for me. And that's why I'm the striking coach right now. And we got other experts that do the ground right now. And it's a perfect marriage between me and the other coaches. So, I know enough mixed martial arts to understand the difference of the strikes versus in a kickboxing fight or a boxing fight or a mixed martial arts fight, because the striking has to be a bit different. And I'm one of the only guys that came from, straight striking that understands, or put it this way, a world championship winning boxing coach that understands that the strikes, even with the punching, is a little different in mixed martial arts than it is in a regular boxing ring.
Yeah.
So I understand the sport well. I love the sport a lot, and like I said, we're gonna keep pushing out great fighters and eventually get to that UFC gold, and I think that's gonna happen real soon.
Yeah, man. I hope the hype gets behind that one, and I see you back in there real soon. Hopefully, I don't know how soon it'd be, but hope something gets going with that. Because
I hope it's not too soon. I hope it's not too soon because Francis just had a tremendous win. I really think it's good for a fighter to take some time off after each fight, because remember, he had a 15-week training camp because the fight kept getting postponed and delayed and all of this. So Francis has been training for over 4 months, basically, straight. So we don't want to be too soon. He needs some time to, even though he suffered no injuries, he needs time to relax his mind, relax, enjoy victories. Sometimes we win, we get right back in there. We really don't get a chance for our soul to really nourish and enjoy that victory. You got to enjoy that victory. So you love that feel-good feeling you get. So next time when you at the point of defeat, you remember that deliciousness of the victory, and you fight fucking harder for it. All these psychological things matter. Guys just fight, then fight again, fight again, fight again. I want you to enjoy it, get your mind back recalibrated, kind of crave to fight again. Then you start training and preparing and fight again, because you got that lust and that crave for it. You always fight better when you do. So that's just my philosophy about it. And we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, Francis, Markel, if they want to do something, Eric and I will have them ready for goddamn sure.
Oh yeah. Is there any disappointment when you train for that long and the fight only lasts 20 seconds? Or I mean, obviously,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I would rather him win in 20 seconds than lose a decision or take a lot of damage in 14 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Of course, experience is important. Experience is definitely important, especially when he's knocked out his last 4 guys and quickly.
Yeah.
But hey, we gotta get those experiences in the gym, because it's much better this way. Because at some point he may have to have a dog fight. Hell, he already had one in the first Stipe fight. He went 5 rounds, guys. You know what I mean? That was a dog fight. So he understands that anyway. He's been to, a 5-round, 5-minute duration. He's fought for 25 minutes. So now it's definitely good. We're getting some knockouts and he's not taking too much damage. Because like Mayweather says, man, the less damage you take, the longer you can do it successfully.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how he fights. That was actually, I commented on something. I forget. I said it's crazy that after the Rosenstrike fight, I commented on something. I said it's crazy to think Stipe, no disrespect to Stipe, but they survived 5 rounds with Francis. A lot of people say, oh, he destroyed Francis, or all this and stuff like that. But I'm like, you gotta remember, Francis was raw at that point. Like he shot the charts because he's doing what he's doing now, the pure athletic ability, and now he's had so much more training.
Yes. And remember, a loss is a positive thing as long as you learn something from it. And I can say that for sure. Francis has definitely learned from that. So, we'll see what happens in the future, we'll see. But but Francis is a much better fighter than what he was in that fight because he has the wisdom, he has the experience, and he has more training to 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 really give him more stability in the ring. Um, he's he's not just a one-trick pony, guys. You guys will see soon enough.
What was the takeaway from that fight for you guys as coaches after the Stipe fight? What were the takeaways to
We
work on?
we just knew that experience, the lack of experience, and just trying to contain the power outburst. other words, other words, you know, be aggressive, be who you are, but don't just let it all rip. You know what I mean? Because we got to have a reserve sometimes.
That's
And,
got to be
and
hard
he's
too, because he's so used
yeah,
to
and
seeing
he's
people in the street.
intelligent enough to know that he knows like okay, it might be a long fight. You know, remember Mike Tyson was doing the same thing back. Well, you're young, but I was shit in high school when Mike Tyson was fighting. I remember he was ripping through everybody really quick, and then he's had some fights where he had to go long, and he seemed a little different. You know what I mean? So that's just an experience. And Mike had been fighting since he was what 12 years old. So it's just something you got to learn when you got that God-given power and you knock the shit out of everybody. You have to learn not just to let it go and always save something in case the guy's durable, in case the guy has great defense, or in case he's smart enough just to elude for a few rounds. So I think all those boxes were checked. I think Francis, he understands the game much more, and obviously he's on a great winning streak, and he'll continue to do so.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about too. You're talking about people fighting defensively and stuff like that. I think that's exactly how John's starting to fight. Jon Jones, speak of the speak of the devil. So I mean,
Yeah. About John, I remember John is an awesome ass fighter. I'm not taking nothing from John. I'm just with Francis, so I'm always be with my guy. But I wouldn't pick anyone else against John but my guy because Jon Jones is a real champion and he has that championship quality. His last fight against Reyes showed that. Some people thought Reyes probably won that fight, but it came down to that last round to me. And Jon Jones showed why he's been dominant for so long. He showed why he's the champion because when it came down to it, regardless how you had it scored 3-1 or 2-2, when it came down to them last 5 minutes, what he do? He got busy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Those last
And
two rounds got busy.
and these are qualities that are just something that only champions have. Only the highest level winners have this. So Jon Jones definitely is not a guy to take lightly. Whoever faces him, but just remember, man, he is a champion, and the only way you're going to beat a champion like that is by having some real talent, a great game plan, and some great God-given attributes. And I feel like Francis will have all three of those things also. So we'll see what happens, man.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. Is there any up and coming fighters you got under your wing you want to shout out? We should go check out on YouTube before we go.
Man, so many guys got this kid from the Midwest from Ohio. He's 5-0 in mixed martial arts right now. 5 stoppages, all first round. His name is Max Rothkopf. Rothkopf is his name. It's a weird name, Max Rothkopf. He's a killer. I got this kid, Twilight Timmy Kwamba. We call him Twilight because he's pretty like the little wolf guy in the Twilight movie, but he can fight his ass off. He's a killer. People don't realize I'm also training the legendary collegiate wrestler Bubba Jenkins. Bubba's a killer. He was gonna fight for the PFL, but now with the COVID coming, the PFL season's been canceled or on postponed. All that drama's going on, but I got Bubba Jenkins, man. Bubba motherfucking Jenkins is a monster, and I cannot wait till he fights again. Who else we got? Killer Keith Lee. Kevin got the ACL injury. He'll rehab that, get back 100, and we'll see the Motown Phenom again, better than ever. We just happy, man. Got Orlando Sanders, tough enough champion. He's a killer. I got this kid, Joey McKee, jiu-jitsu extraordinaire. He's a killer. Man, we got a bunch of fighters coming up. I got my 16-0, 11 KOs, undefeated featherweight professional boxer. Rocky Dustin Marzan is having this coming out party soon. We got a bunch of shit. Yeah, we got a bunch of shit. We got a bunch of shit going on, and you know, we plan on winning a bunch of fights, man. We're gonna stay humble, keep working hard. And by the way, follow me on my Instagram. I don't do Twitter too much, but Instagram is DC Black Cobra. DC Black Cobra, Cobra with a K. I got a bunch of cool content on there. You see the guys training and stuff. You know, we rock out on there.
Bet I'll make sure to tag it on there during the whole video. And thank you for coming on. I saw you guys when shot heard across the world, but Francis was here in Detroit, knocked out Overeem. And obviously, I'm a Motown Phenom guy too, so I always see you in those guys' corners. I had to come check you out, you know, to see what's going on. I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Right on. Peace.